Hello there, my name is Gary Sims from Android Authority. Now this summer Huawei released a great smartphone called the P9, and it was remarkable because it had a camera setup from Leica. Now that had a 5.2-inch display. Now Huawei have released a bigger version of basically the same phone, the Huawei P9 Plus. It comes with a 5.5-inch display plus a few other extras. So let's take a look at it. The design for the P9 Plus is very similar to that of the P9. On the back you've got the brushed metal, you've got the chamfered edges, and you've got the metal unibody design. And then of course on the front you've got this lovely 5.5-inch display. Now looking around the phone, on the bottom you'll find the USB Type-C charging port, you'll find the 3.5mm headphone jack and a single speaker. On the right hand side you'll find the textured power button, and above that the volume rocker. On the left hand side is the tray for the SIM card and the SD card. Along the top you have something new that comes with the P9, and that is the IR blaster. Flicking it over onto its back, you've got this black band which contains the camera technology, the dual sensor Leica camera, and then just below that you have the fingerprint reader. Now on the front is the 5.5-inch Full HD display. Now the standard Huawei P9 also had a Full HD display, this time in a 5.2-inch panel. That means that the Huawei P9 Plus has a slightly lower pixel density. They didn't bump up the resolution for this bigger model. However, it does have one ace up its sleeve. The Huawei P9 Plus uses an AMOLED panel as opposed to an LCD panel. As well as the AMOLED display, the P9 Plus also includes Press Touch technology, which is basically a pressure-sensitive screen. What that means is if you hard press on one of the built-in apps, let's say the camera, then a little shortcut menu will appear that will take you to some direct actions inside that app. Also, if you're inside the gallery, you can hard press on a photo, which will bring up a magnifying glass, allowing you to see different levels of detail on the photo. Now the pressure level can be configured inside of the settings. You can set it to be harder or to be softer. And there's even a little test area that allows you to test out how hard you need to press to activate the Press Touch technology. The Huawei P9 Plus features the Huawei Kirin 955 system on a chip, built using a 16nm FinFET process. It's basically a slightly beefed up version of the Kirin 950 that you find in the Huawei Mate 8. The chip has an octa-core configuration, that's 4 Cortex-A72 cores and 4 Cortex-A53 cores. It also includes a Mali T880 GPU, which is certainly one of the most powerful GPUs that Huawei have put into their phones to date. There also is 4GB of RAM, 64GB of internal storage, and that can be expanded using micro SD. In terms of everyday use, the P9 Plus is fast, fluid, and great to use. The UI animations are smooth, apps open quickly, and multitasking is a breeze. Games also work well on this device, and while there are handsets out there with more powerful GPU configurations, the Mali T880 is a fantastic GPU even in this 4-core variant. Although the benchmarks show that the GPU has lower performance than, say, the GPU in the Exynos 8890, for most users the 3D gaming experience is certainly above average. The Cortex-A72 is one of the latest and highest performance 64-bit cores from ARM. The use of Cortex-A72 and Cortex-A53 in an octa-core configuration is duly reflected in the benchmarks. The Huawei P9 Plus scores 1,829 on Geekbench's single-core test and 6,573 for its multi-core test. These are approximately the same scores as achieved by the smaller Huawei P9. For Antutu, the P9 Plus scored 97,910, which ranks the device higher than the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 and faster, as you'd expect, than the Huawei Mate 8. In fact, it's even faster than the Galaxy S6. However, it is slower than the latest flagships with the Snapdragon 820 or the Exynos 8890. As for Epic Citadel, the device manages a nice 59.3 frames per second in ultra high quality mode. And really you can't ask for any more than that. The fingerprint reader on the P9 Plus is very good, and I really have come to expect nothing less from Huawei. The fingerprint reader on the P9 was excellent, and the P9 Plus has followed suit. Since the fingerprint reader is on the back, you can wake and unlock your phone just by placing your finger on the reader. You can also use the fingerprint reader to trigger the shutter while taking photographs, or you can use it to swipe from left to right when viewing photos in the gallery. Or you can even use it to answer a call. The Huawei P9 Plus features a single speaker on the bottom edge next to the Type-C USB port. The speaker is quite loud and the sound is reasonable considering it isn't a front-facing speaker. However, as is the case with many smartphones, music can sound a bit thin with a lack of bass. I found that at full volume some tracks tended to distort and the sound quality improved when the volume was actually turned down a notch or two. The P9 Plus has a 3400 mAh battery, which is impressive when you consider how sleek Huawei have made this device. I ran Epic Citadel to test the battery life while playing 3D games, and according to my calculations you'll be able to play 3D games for over 4 hours from a single charge. For simpler tasks like browsing the web, you should be able to use this device for up to 11 hours. And if you're watching video that's stored locally on the internal storage, you should be able to watch 10 hours of movies. What this means is you'll easily get through a whole day without having to recharge your phone. In fact, if you are a moderate to light user, you may even see 2 days usage out of this phone before you need to recharge it. Now the Huawei P9 Plus supports fast charging and a fast charger is included in the box. Using the supplied charger, it takes just 40 minutes to go from empty to 50%. And to go from 0 to 100% takes just under 2.5 hours. One of the extra features on the P9 Plus is the IR Blaster. The bundled smart controller app allows you to control TVs, air conditioning units, set-top boxes, DVD players, projectors and more. Device setup is easy enough. You just pick the type of device, the make of device, and then you follow the on-screen instructions. Overall, the IR Blaster worked well and was as expected and is, in my opinion, a good addition to the P9 Plus. The Huawei P9 Plus comes with Android 6.0 Marshmallow out of the box, and on top of that Huawei have placed their Emotion UI. That means there are redesigned icons, some redesigned layouts, some redesigned colorings. However, the biggest difference is it doesn't include an app drawer. Now, if you insist on having an app drawer, the P9 Plus is not for you. Personally, I don't mind either way. As well as the UI changes, there are lots of additional features that you don't get with stock Android, including motion gestures, a floating dock, voice wake up, one-handed mode, and Huawei's own take on the do not disturb mode. Under motion gestures, you can enable motions like flip to mute, raise to ear to answer calls, and tilt motions to move icons and widgets. There is also the knuckle gesture, which allows you to take screenshots by double tapping the screen with your knuckle, or drawing a letter to open an app. Both types of these knuckle gestures can be disabled if they misfire. With the built-in voice app wake up, you can talk to your phone when it's nearby. Its usage is limited to locating your device or placing a call, but it works well. The default phrase is, "Okay Emmy,